Coach, first can you just take us through last week's matchups and what you're looking forward to this week?
Well, I thought it was a typical Pac-12 matchup where, played two pretty different teams. And for us, I think as a staff, we were disappointed in some things that we did against Arizona State. But you got to give them a lot of credit. They played to a system. They're a physical team. They make you take and make outside shots. And there were things that we did pretty well in that game. I thought we did some good things, and when we executed really well, we got great shots at the basket. And that's kind of the tale of where we are, I think. When I think when we've started to screen better, when we've started to play with a little bit better pace, our offensive execution has really shot up and gone, and it goes pretty well for us. And again, you can't always determine, you can't always plan on, and you can't always count on making shots, but in the Arizona State game, we didn't make shots, and in the Arizona game, we did. And it's a beautiful thing when you make shots. It makes you feel a lot better. But I really did like some of the things we did against Arizona State to a degree, and I think it made us realize that if we do these things, we can be successful. And I think for us, our team bought into that with one day of preparation and really committed to a couple of things, and execution and pace and screening better. And when we did that, we were really good against Arizona. So I think that takeaway is if we do those things, we put ourselves in position to win games. And it's our only chance to be competitive against the teams we're facing. So, we're hopeful that that's kind of that we can solidify those thoughts and that we can take that forward and be better in those two areas going forward.
Looking at the last game, Chanel Molina and I'm going to butcher her name. Borislava. Yeah, they scored together 65 of your 90 points. Going into UW, looking to keep the offense running through them and try and keep their hot scoring streak going?
Well, if we could bottle up that, we would take it every night. We've struggled to get to 50 sometimes, so to have two players get 65 is awesome. That's the hard part. Again, it goes back to you can't always – everybody's not going to be on the same night. We were fortunate that those two players really had a phenomenal game. And we also – Swede made some baskets. I think she was in double figures as well. Those are our three big producers, and they have to produce for us to give us a chance. I mean, we've basically said if we can get to 70 points, we have a chance to win a lot of nights. Right? The three of them had 77. We got to 90, and we won by 2. So that tells you how perfect we have to be. Bobby has to be phenomenal. Nell has to have a phenomenal night, and we win by 2. So it's kind of scary in that sense of it, but I think that's just, give a lot of credit to our league, and our league can score points. Our league has great teams in it, and to be competitive, you have to find ways to put points on the board. So, yes, we want to go through those players. Yes, we need Nell to be super aggressive in handling the ball. Both of those players are our best playmakers, whether they're scoring the basketball or creating shots for other people. So we need them to be really on it. And again, sometimes that means not shooting and passing the ball, and keeping the ball moving. And I think that's a hard part for people that can score the ball like those two can. But it's key for us to not just rely on quick shots in offense, not just rely on every time they touch it, they shoot it, and to trust that it'll come back to them. But we've got to rely a little bit on our system. And I think if we do that, those two kids will have, tons of opportunities to score and to be effective for us.
Going into UW this week, second time around now, how hard is it to play a team a second time, but at least this time getting them at home where you started in Seattle this year?
Washington is such a different team than anyone else in our league. They play it's hard to scout. They play a motion offense that doesn't have a real pattern to it. They just have players that have played it so much they know how to pass and cut and create an advantage for themselves. They press. They change defenses in the middle of a possession. They trap on balls. They hedge on balls. They switch on balls. So it's one of those teams that we can't overthink it. We can't get our kids thinking like robots, because they're going to force you to make plays. And I think with them, they're kind of feast or famine. They're going to take some chances, and if you hesitate or delay, they're probably going to lead to layups for them, and that's what they want. If you attack it and are aggressive and make good, clean passes to each other, you might get good shots on the end of their defensive possession. So it's a real challenge for us just to take all that we've learned and be really quality basketball players. Pass and catch and move the ball when you need to, and attack when you need to, and dribble it when you need to, and don't dribble it when you need to. And just the decision-making against a Washington team is really, really key. So in the first game, I thought we played a fantastic first half and got great looks, and then I think we struggled a little bit in the second half. So I think they'll try to do things that hurt us in the second half, and we'll try to keep the game like it was in the first half. But it's always fun to play a second time. I love, obviously, playing at home, and it's just exciting to be able to play one more at home after coming off a win. It gives us a little bit of confidence.
You've switched up the starting lineup a little bit as of late, had Ula in the last two. How do you think she's affected the play of the team and being in that starting lineup?
Yeah, I've loved Ula in the starting lineup. Again, that fifth spot has been a mystery to us. We haven't gotten great production. And again, it's not all just about points. It's just about creating something on the court for us, rebounding or a mismatch or just good decision making, and we've been inconsistent in that spot. This is Ula playing gives us a chance to put Bobby as a three and more of a guard and more on the perimeter. She can still post up, so that plays into our hands there. Ula's a fantastic passer. She only had, I think, 2 points the other night, but had 6 assists. So she can stretch the floor, and she can, again, make plays whether she's scoring the basketball or not. And that's great to have around people who can score the basketball. A willing passer and a really quality passer is great to surround with Bobby on the floor and Nell on the floor and Sweet on the floor who can score it. So I think she gives us a better rebounding presence. And like I said, she puts Bobby at a more natural position where she can play point guard for us or a wing. And I think that's our best lineup scoring wise. And I do love having Mick come off the bench, who's a quality energy player, going to go rebound, going to give us a different look coming off the bench, and Sheer coming off the bench, and Lynn as well. So I like the matchups that we have when we go a little bit bigger. And our only hope is, and fear is, that foul trouble could create some problems because we're so short in the post as far as subs go. But I really think Ula gives us a great chance to put our best players on the floor and put them in good matchups.
Anyone on the phone with a question?
Yeah, Coach, this is Daryl from Wazoo Nation.
Hi.
How do you keep the team morale up?
Well, I think that's just the grind of the season, and I think we all are, when you're starting a new program and you're a new coaching staff, I think that's been the hard part the entire year. We probably went through preseason and had higher hopes and didn't play great in the non-conference and lost some games that I wish we could take back, and then you roll into Pac-12 and get 2 wins early, but then go through a stretch where we couldn't find a win, whether we played well or not. So, so much of our mindset right now is we have to stay in this for the long run, and we have to do the things that ultimately will make our program successful. And a lot of that is, being great teammates every time we step on the floor, bringing great energy every time we step on the floor, competing well in practice, communicating well. It's all those little things that ultimately, as we grow our program and get, a deeper roster and hopefully more talent in our roster, that we'll have the groundwork done. We'll have the fundamentals of a program and what's most important to build upon in place. And so we're going to stick with that. We're going to buy into that, and you just hope that if we do those things really, really at a high level, it's going to give you a chance to win some games along the way. And and if you don't, you wake up the next day, and that's the beauty of sports and athletics, is that you got to have hope, and you got to come into the gym and know that it's a new day, and you have a chance to compete again and an opportunity to win again. So get up and work at it the next day, win or lose. So it's not all about wins, and we have to build our program on kind of character things right now as we strive for wins.